Expansion is the name of the game for companies with established IPs and franchises, and Riot Games is no different. Over the past few years, they've been plugging away at many different projects meant to broaden the League of Legends IP beyond its MOBA roots. Among these are Project A, a hero shooter now known as Valorant, Project K, a physical trading card game now known as Riftbound, and Project L, a team-based fighting game now known as 2XKO, and that's what we're here to talk about. It's pretty straightforward stuff in 2XKO. You have your usual array of light, medium, and heavy attacks and combos, plus ranged attacks and specials, and those elements are all standard fighting game fare. Most of the novelty then comes from the game's tag mechanics, which should sound familiar to anyone who's played a tag fighter before, like Marvel vs. Capcom or Dragon Ball FighterZ. You can switch from your main point fighter to a second assist fighter throughout a match, and you call upon them to bring some extra oomph or interrupt your opponent's combos. A fuse mechanic gives you options for how your two fighters can use their power together. You can combine your specials or enable multiple assist actions, for example. In a helpful touch for newbies, a toggle exists for something called pulse combos, where moves and specials can be triggered by just pressing the same button a few times in a row, instead of through a more traditional combo system. And this does lower the barrier to entry a little bit. This ain't Smash though. While these touches and a genuinely helpful tutorial ease new players in, you're still getting a very traditional fighting game here. Tight controls and well-rounded fighter mechanics are absolutely critical to any genre entry worth its salt, and thankfully 2XKO has these basics nailed down. There's still some balance issues that need work, but generally speaking, the game feels and plays very solidly. Maybe not better than the giants of the genre, but certainly on a similar level. Combos are satisfying to pull off, strikes land with impact, and finishers are appropriately flashy. Some infrequent screen tearing and performance hiccups do put a slight damper on this, but by and large, it's every bit as responsive and fluid as you'd want and expect from something like this. Characters' personalities shine through with expressive animation, solid voice acting, and movesets that generally reflect their abilities and focus areas from League itself and across the IP. There's a decent amount of customizability as well, with each character having a small selection of unlockables like skins, taunts, and finishers. Gaining access to these customizations is a separate and very expensive issue, but we'll get to that. Outside of play, the lobby where you find new games might actually be one of the highlights. Your avatar runs around this virtual lounge shared by other players to physically queue up for matches and watch others do the same. The lobby's streak leaders are displayed both on a board and by lighting your avatar on fire, and you can spectate everyone else's matches live by walking between the cabinets they're playing on, which is an awesome touch. There's room-wide text chat as well, where League's world-famous toxicity seems to be alive and well. With everyone's avatars and custom looks on display for all to see, it's also as good an excuse as any to indulge in the game's battle pass and cosmetics, if you so choose. Familiar genre perils persist though, as they kind of inevitably will. With very limited options for solo play outside of tutorials, you really do need to go online to get the most out of the experience. Even with some of its accommodating design choices, the predictably high skill floor means that you need to get good and fast to prevent it from becoming overwhelmingly frustrating. You decide if that's a good or a bad thing. More hardcore players will decry the button-mashing nature of the pulse combos, and casual players may still struggle to wrap their head around the control complexities even in their simpler forms. If nothing else though, online performance is very stable and reliable. Considering the involvement of the folks who pioneered rollback netcode and founded the EVO Tournament series, you'd kind of expect nothing less. There's other pain points though, and a big one is monetization, which is very heavy-handed. Character cosmetics are egregiously priced, with some individual skins costing something like $20 US or more, and bundles of them approaching the cost of an entire AAA game in some cases. Progression and character unlocks happen a bit faster than you might expect from a free-to-play title via things like daily and weekly challenges, but you're still encouraged to spend on pricey packages that include character unlock tokens. While you don't have to bust out your wallet, the value proposition is poor if you do so. The size of the initial roster underwhelms as well. As of Season 1, there are only 12 champions available, with about half of them locked behind those progression or monetary paywalls. Free-to-play or not, that's low for a modern fighting game. Its most direct peers and competitors had launch rosters with anywhere from 20 to 30 or more fighters, and given the staggering number of champions available in League of Legends, there's a lot left on the table here. It's impossible to please everyone in this respect, but expecting a more robust roster wasn't and isn't an unrealistic ask. So where does that leave us? Simply put, 2XKO is a fighting game for League of Legends fans. If you're not a fan of the genre, this one probably won't win you over, and if you're not into the IP, this probably won't be what sucks you in. That said, if you are into League and could go for a fresher fighting game than what's out there right now, this is worth a look. It's mechanically competent and elaborately presented, so if you can vibe with even some of what's on offer here, you'll have a good time. Its competitive scene and tournament presence is already strong and growing, with good support from Riot themselves, so if you're looking for something new to get in on the ground floor of, give it a try. It's not like it costs you anything. So when you put it all together, 2XKO gets 3.5 Gloobies out of 5. Season 1 lays a solid foundation for Riot to build off of. The key, then, is where it goes from here. 2XKO is available now on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series S and X, and PC. Thanks so much for watching. Stay fresh, cheesebags. We'll catch you back here real soon.